A unicycle is a vehicle that touches the ground with only one wheel. The most common variation has a frame with a saddle, and is a pedal-driven direct drive. Unicycling is practiced professionally in circuses, by street performers, and in festivals and as a hobby. Unicycles have also been used to create new sports such as unicycle hockey. In recent years unicycles have also been used in activities similar to mountain biking or trials. History. U.S. patents for single-wheeled velocipedes were published in 1869 by Frederick Myers and in 1881 by Battista Sciuri. Unicycle design has developed since the advent of the first unicycle into many variations including the seatless unicycle and the tall unicycle. During the late 1980s some extreme sportsmen took an interest in the unicycle and modified unicycles to enable them to engage in off-road or mountain unicycling, trials unicycling and street unicycling. Unicycles compared to other pedal-powered vehicles, bicycles, tricycles and quadricycles share several basic parts including wheels, pedals, cranks, forks, and the saddle with unicycles. Without a rider unicycles lack stability, however a proficient unicyclist is usually more stable than a similarly proficient rider on a bicycle as the wheel is not constrained by the linear axis of a frame. Unicycles usually lack brakes, gears, and the ability to freewheel. Construction. Unicycles have a few key parts: the wheel, the cranks, pedals, fork-style frame, seat post, saddle. The wheel is usually similar to a small bicycle wheel with a special hub designed so the axle is a fixed part of the hub. This means the rotation of the cranks directly controls the rotation of the wheel. The frame sits on top of the axle bearings, while the cranks attach to the ends of the axle, and the seat post slides into the frame to allow the saddle to be height adjusted. Types of unicycles. Types of unicycle include freestyle unicycles, trials unicycles, mountain unicycles, giraffe unicycles, long-distance unicycles. Each type has special components unique to that type of unicycle. Freestyle unicycles generally used for flatland skills and freestyle routines. Usually have a relatively high seat post, a narrow saddle, and a squared fork. These unicycles are used similarly to flatland bicycles. Wheel size is usually 20 inches, but smaller riders may use 16 or 12-inch unicycles. Some people prefer 24-inch wheels. Trials unicycles designed for unicycle trials. These unicycles are stronger than standard unicycles in order to withstand the stresses caused by jumping, dropping, and supporting the weight of the unicycle and rider on components such as the pedals and cranks. Many trials unicycles also have wide, 19 or 20-inch knobby tires to absorb some of the impact on drops. Mountain unicycles. Muni, or Muni is an abbreviation for mountain unicycling. Munis have many of the same components as trials unicycles, but have a few key differences. Usually, the tire diameters on mountain unicycles are either 24 or 26 inches, allowing the rider to more easily roll over obstacles such as roots and rocks. 29-inch munis are also used but are usually used for longer trips, or just a challenge. The seat is also thicker and more comfortable on munis to compensate for the rough terrain. Brakes are used for steep descents. Touring unicycles. Used for long distances, these unicycles are specially made to cover distances. They have a large wheel diameter, between 26 and 36 inches, so more distance is covered in less pedal rotation. A 36 inches unicycle made by the Coker Tire Company started the big wheel trend. Some variations on the traditional touring unicycle include the Schlumpf-Guni, which uses a 2-speed internal fixed-geared hub. Larger direct drive wheels tend to have shorter cranks to allow for easier cadence and more speed. Geared wheels, with an effective diameter larger than the wheel itself, tend to use longer cranks to increase torque as they are not required to achieve such high cadences as direct drive wheels, but demand greater force per pedal stroke. Other variations. Giraffe, a chain-driven unicycle. Use of a chain can make the unicycle much taller than standard unicycles. Standard unicycles don't have a chain, which limits the seat height based on how long the rider's legs are, because there the crank is attached directly to the wheel axle. Giraffe unicycles can range in heights from 3 feet to over 10 feet high. Geared unicycle, a unicycle whose wheel rotates faster than the pedal cadence. They are used for distance riding and racing. Multi-wheeled unicycle, a unicycle with more than one wheel, stacked on top of each other so that only one wheel touches the ground. The wheels are linked together by chains or direct contact with each other. Kangaroo unicycle, a unicycle that has both the cranks facing in the same direction. They are so named due to the hopping motion of the rider's legs, supposedly resembling the jumping of a kangaroo. Eccentric unicycle, a unicycle that has the hub off-center in the wheel. Putting an eccentric wheel on a kangaroo unicycle can make riding easier, and the rider's motion appear more kangaroo-like. Ultimate wheel, a unicycle with no frame or seat, just a wheel and pedals. Impossible wheel, a wheel with pegs or metal plates connected to the axle for the rider to stand on. These wheels are for coasting and jumping. A purest form of unicycle, without cranks. Monocycle, a large wheel inside which the rider sits either motorized or pedal-powered. The greater gyroscopic properties and lower center of mass make it easier to balance than a normal unicycle but less maneuverable. Self-balancing unicycle, a computer-controlled, motor-driven, self-balancing unicycle. Freewheeling unicycle, a unicycle in which the hub has a freewheel mechanism, allowing the rider to coast or move forward without pedaling, as a common bicycle does. These unicycles almost always have brakes because they cannot stop the way traditional unicycles do. The brake lever is generally mounted in the bottom of the saddle. These unicycles also cannot go backwards. Other variations include tandem, recumbent, hydraulic giraffe, unibike, Unicycle, motorized unicycle. Training aids. Having training aids may make it easier to become comfortable with riding a unicycle. One method for training is using a spotter to make riding easier. One other easy way to learn is to find a narrow hallway that can be used to help alleviate left and right balancing while allowing a beginner to focus on forward and backward balance. If a hallway cannot be found, a fence or clothesline is suitable. Equally, riding back and forth between two chairs, faced back to back, whilst holding onto the chair backs allows the user to gauge how to appropriately position oneself before setting off. Using props such as sticks or ski poles is generally discouraged as they hinder balance and create dependence. A fall onto props could also cause serious injury. Riding styles. Traditionally, unicycling has been seen as a circus skill which has been performed at events to entertain the public in the circus or during parades, carnivals or street festivals. Recent developments in the strength and durability of bicycle parts have given rise to many new activities including trials unicycling and mountain unicycling. Unicycling is arguably now as much a competitive sport and recreational pursuit as an entertainment activity. The principal types of unicycling are, freestyle, perhaps the oldest form of unicycling. Traditional freestyle riding is based on performance. Freestyle tricks and moves are derived from different ways of riding the unicycle, and linking these moves together into one long flowing line that is aesthetically pleasing. Competitions look very similar to figure skating, comedy, along with freestyle it is a performance style of unicycling. Often employed by clowns and other circus skills performers. Comedy unicycling exaggerates the perceived difficulty of riding a unicycle to create a comedic performance. Trials unicycling. Trials unicycling is specifically aimed at negotiating obstacles. Analogous to trials bike riding. Street unicycling. Street unicycling as a style involves riders using a combination of objects found in urbanized settings to perform a wide variety of tricks. Many tricks are similar to those performed in other extreme sports, such as BMX and skateboarding. Off-road or mountain unicycling. Muni is riding on rough terrain and has developed as a form of unicycling in recent years. Touring or commuting, this style concentrates on distance riding. With a 29 or 36-inch wheel, cruising speeds of 10 to 15 miles per hour or more can easily be reached. Flatland, As of 2009, this style of unicycling is similar to freestyle in that various tricks and movements are performed on flat ground. Flatland, however, does not have the performance element of freestyle, but instead has tricks that are similar to those in BMX and skateboarding. Unicycle team sports. Unicycling is also performed as a team sport. Unicycle basketball equals. Unicycle basketball uses a regulation basketball on a regular basketball court with the same rules. For example, one must dribble the ball while riding. There are a number of rules that are particular to unicycle basketball as well. For example, a player must be mounted on the unicycle when inbounding the ball. Unicycle basketball is usually played using 24 inches or smaller unicycles, and using plastic pedals, both to preserve the court and the player's shins. In North America, regular unicycle basketball games are organized in Berkeley, Detroit, Phoenix, Minneapolis, and Toronto. Switzerland, France, Germany and Puerto Rico are all field teams. The Puerto Rico All-Stars had been one of the dominant teams and has won several world championships. Unicycle hockey . Unicycle hockey follows rules basically similar to ice hockey or inline hockey, using a tennis ball and ice hockey sticks. Play is mostly non-contact. The sport has active leagues in Germany, Switzerland and the UK, and international tournaments held at least biannually. Tournaments in the UK are held by various teams across the country, usually in sports halls, but occasionally outside. Each tournament lasts a day and around 8 teams normally compete in a round-robin league, with the winner being whoever has the most points. If 2 teams have the same number of points, the winner can be decided by goal difference or a penalty shootout. Unicycle handball . Unicycle handball uses a handball-sized ball. The teams aim to throw it into a vertical hoop placed about 6 feet above the ground. It has been played in the Polish village of Czalice since the late 1970s. Notable unicyclists. Known as unicyclists. Individuals: Chris Holm and George Peck, pioneers in mountain unicycling; Rudy Horn, a German juggler; Ernest Montego, a German juggler; Lucky Diamond Rich, a tattooed performance artist. Groups: King Charles Unicycle Troupe. Known in other fields: Rebecca Kane, Canadian opera singer and musical actress; Michael Crawford, actor and singer; Adam Carolla, American comedian and actor; Rupert Grint, actor who played Ronald Weasley in the Harry Potter films; Mika Hakkinen, Formula One racing driver; Lewis Hamilton, Formula One racing driver; Eddie Izzard, comedian and actor; Leslie Mann, American actress who performed on The Ellen DeGeneres Show; Chris Martin, lead singer of Coldplay; Demetri Martin, American comedian and actor; Chris Moyles, Radio 1 DJ and broadcaster; Ulrich Marwan Kortehi, late German actor, best known for his role in The Lives of Others; Michael Nesmith, former guitarist of the Monkees; Miles Palomle, American professional basketball player; Nico Rosberg, Formula One racing driver; Donald Rumsfeld, former United States Secretary of Defense; Claude Shannon, founder of information theory; Take That members Mark Owen, Jason Orange, and Howard Donald unicycled for the circus-based video for their song Said It All; Andrew Tosh, son of Peter and also a Jamaican reggae musician; Peter Tosh, Jamaican reggae musician from the Wailers; Steve Young, former National Football League quarterback; Eliot Sitimirsky, Russian-American software developer and entrepreneur. Unicon and regional championships. Unicon, Eurocycle and APUC are regular international unicycling conventions. The biennial Unicon, sanctioned by the International Unicycling Federation, comprises all major unicycling disciplines and is a major event on the International Unicycling calendar. Events include artistic, track racing, 10 kilometers, marathon, muni, trials, basketball and hockey. The Eurocycle is a similar convention but based in Europe. APUC, the Asia-Pacific Unicycling Championships, are held biannually, alternately with Unicon. The first APUC, in 2007, was in Singapore. Subsequently the event has been held in Hong Kong, Seoul and Canberra. Races. The world's first multi-stage unicycle race, Ride the Lobster, took place in Nova Scotia in June 2008. Some 35 teams from 14 countries competed over a total distance of 800 kilometers. Each team consisted of a maximum of 3 riders and 1 support person. Unicross, or unicycle cyclocross, is an emerging race format in which unicycles race over a cyclocross course. Manufacturers. Unicycle makers include Coca, Chris Home Unicycles, Miata, Torca. See also, Bicycle and Motorcycle Dynamics, List of cycling topics, monowheel, self-balancing unicycle, unicycle robot. References. External links, International Unicycling Federation.